Colorado may look like paradise from afar, but take a closer look and the cracks start to show beneath those snow-capped peaks. Some parts of the Centennial State are struggling so deeply that even locals are packing up and heading for the hills, literally. These are 10 towns in Colorado you should think twice about moving to. The worst places to live in Colorado right now. Takes you on a tour through the darker side of Colorado living, where the dream of mountain life meets the reality of high crime, scarce job opportunities, and a steady decline in quality of life. Sure, the Colorado housing market still attracts dreamers chasing mountain views, but behind those postcard-perfect images are communities drowning in debt, plagued by record-breaking property theft, and wondering where all the good-paying jobs disappeared to. Some small towns in Colorado are sliding down such steep economic slopes that you'd need climbing gear just to find stability again. Others are losing population faster than the snow melts in July. So before you jump into your next Colorado real estate adventure, take a moment. This countdown might save you from making a move you'll regret. Stay tuned. This one gets uncomfortable. Like, comment, and subscribe for more real talk about where to live in America. Number 10. Commerce City, Colorado, where industry meets interesting choices. If you've ever driven past Commerce City and thought, hey, this looks like an affordable, quiet place to settle down, slow down, friend, you might want to keep that engine running. Sitting just northeast of Denver, Commerce City proudly blends working-class grit with the unmistakable scent of industrial ambition. Between refineries, freight yards, and sprawling warehouses, this is one of those Colorado neighborhoods where the line between residential and industrial isn't just blurred, it's buried under smog. Now, to be fair, Commerce City has its perks. It's close to Denver's job market, homes are relatively cheaper, and if traffic behaves, you can reach downtown in about 20 minutes. But here's the catch, it's also one of the worst cities in Colorado for property crime and safety. According to Area Vibes, residents face a crime rate roughly 81% higher than the national average, and car thefts are so common they might as well hand you a "good luck" sticker with your registration. Then there's the air quality, a little gift from the Suncor oil refinery, which has made headlines for more pollution violations than anyone wants to count. Locals have practically become experts at reading air quality alerts like stock traders watching the market. Green means open your windows. Yellow, think twice. Red, maybe take a weekend trip to Boulder. While some residents embrace the city's blue-collar pride and convenient access to jobs, others find the quality of life feels more factory shift than fresh start. The cost of living is rising, housing demand is squeezing affordability, and education ranks below the state average. In short, you're paying more for less. And yet, Commerce City is growing. Developers see opportunity, families see cheaper homes, and city planners see potential. But growth brings its own chaos, congestion, safety issues, and inequality are all intensifying. The city is trying hard to reinvent itself, but when high crime, industrial pollution, and economic disparity share the same zip code, it's a tough sell for anyone dreaming of a peaceful Colorado life. So if you're looking for mountain views, quiet nights, and clean air, drive a few exits farther north. Commerce City may be a hub for industry, but it's more gritty reality than Rocky Mountain dream. Buckle up, the next towns only get rougher. Number 9. Colorado Springs, where the scenery is heavenly but the crime feels hellish. Colorado Springs looks flawless on a postcard, Pikes Peak standing tall in the background, crisp mountain air, and neighborhoods whispering, "Come live your best life." But beneath that shiny Colorado charm lies a reality that's a little less Rocky Mountain high and a little more law and order, Colorado edition. Let's start with the numbers. With a violent crime rate around 692 per 100,000 residents, Colorado Springs consistently lands on lists of the most dangerous cities in the state, nearly double the national average. Not exactly the kind of adventure newcomers envisioned when they packed their hiking boots and yoga mats. Sure, the city's PR team will tell you most of the crime happens in specific areas, but it's hard to relax when you're wondering if your car might be the next specific area. Still, Colorado Springs isn't all doom and gloom. It's one of the fastest growing cities in Colorado, with a booming tech sector, a strong military presence, and breathtaking scenery that can make even cynics stop and stare. The housing market exploded as people fled Denver's sky-high prices for something more affordable. But here's the twist: that affordability is fading fast. Between 2020 and 2025, median home prices shot up nearly 40%, while wages crawled behind like a marathoner on mile 22. Add worsening traffic, overworked police, overcrowded schools, and a rising cost of living, and Colorado Springs starts to feel less like a dream and more like a juggling act between rent, groceries, and survival. Locals will tell you they love their city, and they do. They'll also tell you to lock your doors nightly and avoid certain neighborhoods. But that's a big if. Colorado Springs is a paradox, a breathtaking city where beauty and chaos coexist. It's proof that not every mountain view comes with peace of mind. So if you're thinking of moving here, remember, even paradise needs better policing. Number 8. Alamosa, where the views are grand but the struggles are real. Welcome to Alamosa, gateway to the Great Sand Dunes. A place so beautiful it could fool anyone into thinking life here is picture perfect. You've got the Rio Grande flowing nearby, sunsets over the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, and that small-town calm people crave when they're tired of city noise. But before you sell your house, buy a pickup, and Google cheap land in Colorado, take a closer look. With a population just over 9,800, Alamosa feels tight-knit, sometimes too tight-knit. Despite its small size, it consistently appears on lists of Colorado's most dangerous towns, posting a violent crime rate nearly 60% higher than the national average. For a town this size, that's a big problem. Add to that a median household income under $45,000 and nearly 1 in 4 residents living in poverty, and the economic pressure becomes clear. Still, Alamosa has heart, a rich Hispanic heritage, deep community pride, and a "we're in this together" spirit. But when together also means rising theft, limited jobs, and underfunded public services, it's easy to see why people start looking for greener pastures. Resources are stretched thin, schools struggle for funding, healthcare access is limited, and emergency services are slow. You might wait longer for an ambulance than for a neighbor to show up with jumper cables and unsolicited advice. Yes, the cost of living is lower than in Denver or Boulder, but so are the opportunities. If you want nightlife, economic growth, or a strong job market, Alamosa might feel sleepy. That said, those who love Alamosa truly love it. They'll tell you the peace, wide skies, and sense of belonging make up for its flaws. But for newcomers seeking stability, this might not be the dream they imagined, unless that dream includes swapping big city stress for small-town struggles. Number 7. La Junta, the town where opportunity took the last train out. Welcome to La Junta, Colorado, a town whose name literally means the junction. Fitting, really, because this place feels like it's stuck at one, caught somewhere between holding on and letting go. Perched along the Arkansas River in southeastern Colorado, La Junta was once a thriving railroad hub brimming with energy, jobs, and potential. Fast forward to today, and what remains is a community more nostalgic than prosperous, a living reminder of how quickly progress moves on once the trains stop rolling. With a population just over 6,800, La Junta might seem like a quaint and affordable small town. But affordability can come with strings attached: high poverty, low job growth, and a downtown that feels more ghost town than growth town. According to U.S. Census data, the median household income sits around $43,000, nearly 30% lower than the Colorado average. Nearly 1 in 5 residents lives below the poverty line, making economic hardship hit harder than a winter wind sweeping across the plains. La Junta frequently lands on regional worst places lists, not because it's overrun by violent crime, but because its struggles run deeper. Long-term economic stagnation, poor healthcare access, and limited job opportunities that drive younger residents toward bigger cities like Colorado Springs or Denver in search of better prospects. Property crime is another ongoing concern, with burglary and theft rates consistently above the national average. When even your porch light starts feeling like part of your security system, you know things are tough. The local economy leans heavily on agriculture, small retail, and the remnants of the railroad industry. When crops flourish, the town breathes a little easier. When they don't, unemployment rises just as fast. Add an aging infrastructure and an underfunded education system, and it's easy to see why La Junta's growth feels more illusion than momentum. Still, the town isn't without spirit. The sunsets are stunning, the people are kind, and there's a quiet resilience here that commands respect. But for anyone seeking opportunity, modern convenience, or upward mobility, La Junta might not be the destination you imagine. It's a town with heart, history, and hardship, and unless something changes soon, this junction could very well lead to nowhere. Number 6. Cannon City, where the scenery is breathtaking and so are the crime stats. Cannon City, Colorado. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Nestled in the foothills of the Rockies, surrounded by red cliffs and the Arkansas River, this town could easily pass for a postcard. But behind those scenic views and tourist brochures lies a much grittier truth. Canyon City regularly ranks among the most dangerous places in Colorado. Let's start with a bit of context. Home to about 17,000 residents and roughly 13 prisons, this town has earned the unflattering nickname, Prison Valley. That's right, there are more correctional facilities here than coffee shops. And while not every inmate is roaming free, the prison industry shapes Cannon City's economy, culture, and reputation in ways that are hard to ignore. Employment in corrections is common, but it's hardly the dream career most newcomers picture when they say, "I'm moving to Colorado for a fresh start." Now, the numbers. The violent crime rate hovers around 605 incidents per 100,000 residents, about 50% higher than the national average. Property crime? Even worse. Burglary and theft push the city consistently into Colorado's top 10 for overall crime. For a town that promotes itself as where the adventure begins, you might want to ask what kind of adventure they're referring to. Economically, things aren't much brighter. The median household income is around $56,000, well below the state average. And while housing is affordable, that's largely because demand is low. With limited job diversity, an aging population, and sluggish downtown retail, Cannon City is still struggling to define itself between prison town reality and tourist town potential. That said, it's not all doom and gloom. The Royal Gorge Bridge and Park draw thousands of visitors each year, and outdoor enthusiasts will find plenty to love, assuming they can tune out the sirens. Locals are fiercely proud of their home and quick to defend it, insisting the statistics don't tell the full story. Still, Cannon City is a place of contradictions, beautiful on the outside, complicated on the inside. It's proof that in Colorado, quality of life is about more than just mountain views. If you're chasing peace, progress, and low crime, you might want to keep driving past Prison Valley and look for somewhere that's not on a first-name basis with the Department of Corrections. Number 5. Sheridan, the tiny town with big city crime energy. Blink while driving down South Santa Fe Drive and you might miss Sheridan, Colorado, and honestly, that might be for the best. With just 6,000 residents, Sheridan should be the picture of small-town peace. Instead, it manages to combine small-town size with big city problems. like someone squeezed all of Denver's crime into 1 square mile just to see what would happen. Despite its modest population, Sheridan routinely lands near the top of the list of Colorado's most dangerous cities. And that's not an exaggeration, it's statistics. According to Area Vibes, the city's crime rate is nearly 200% higher than the national average. That means this tiny suburb outpaces entire metro areas in both violent and property crimes. It's almost impressive, in a please don't move here kind of way. Locals joke that Sheridan has only 2 seasons, summer and lock your doors. Now, to be fair, in a town this small, a handful of incidents can make the stats look worse. But Sheridan's problems go beyond simple math. The median household income sits around $56,000, notably lower than the state average, and poverty affects about 17% of residents. Combine that with limited job options, aging infrastructure, and high population turnover, and you've got the perfect recipe for instability. Minus the scenic backdrop to make it charming. Ironically, Sheridan is sandwiched between 2 of Denver's most desirable suburbs, Inglewood to the north and Littleton to the south. It's like the middle child in a wealthy family that just can't seem to catch a break. While its neighbors attract tech startups and trendy cafes, Sheridan struggles with potholes, policing, and public perception. To their credit, locals insist the city is misunderstood. A place with grit, loyalty, and a few promising redevelopment efforts underway. But when your crime rate is triple the national average, the first redevelopment project probably needs to be better lighting and more patrol cars. If you're planning to move to Colorado for safety, stability, or that picture-perfect suburban dream, Sheridan might not deliver. It's a reminder that in Colorado, even the smallest dots on the map can make the biggest headlines. Number 4. Lakewood, the suburb that forgot it was supposed to be safe. Lakewood, Colorado. The name sounds peaceful, doesn't it? You'd imagine calm waters, leafy parks, and friendly neighbors waving as they walk their golden retrievers. And yes, that version of Lakewood does exist, in parts. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find a city quietly auditioning for the role of Denver's troubled cousin. With a population of about 157,000, Lakewood is one of the largest suburbs in the Denver metro area, and with that size comes a few serious problems. The violent crime rate is around 716 per 100,000 residents, well above both the state and national averages. And while much of the city is perfectly safe, some neighborhoods have statistics that would make your insurance agent sigh before even quoting you a rate. Here's what makes it frustrating: Lakewood isn't neglected. It has a strong economy, easy access to downtown Denver, and beautiful open spaces like Bear Creek Lake Park. On paper, it checks all the boxes. But reality paints a different picture: rising property crime, increasing homelessness, and growing concerns over public safety are eroding its once stable reputation. According to police reports, burglary and theft account for more than 85% of all reported crimes, meaning you're more likely to lose your bike than your life. Though by your third bike that's small comfort. The median household income is about $80,000, and the cost of living sits roughly 20% above the national average. Yet somehow, parts of the city still feel neglected: aging infrastructure, rising rents, and Denver's urban issues slowly bleeding westward. City officials are working to revitalize struggling districts, but when budgets tighten and crime keeps climbing, even the best efforts start to look like a bandage on a bullet wound. That said, Lakewood isn't a lost cause. Many neighborhoods remain safe, vibrant, and full of life, home to breweries, art spaces, and outdoor enthusiasts. But you'll want to know your zip codes before signing a lease. If your dream Colorado lifestyle includes a safe, quiet suburb near the city, Lakewood might look perfect at first glance. Just remember, in this suburb, not every street lives up to its postcard name. Number 3. Aurora. the city of lights, sirens, and locked doors. Welcome to Aurora, Colorado. A city that promises the best of both worlds, where Denver's big city energy meets the calm of suburban life. On the surface, it looks ideal: wide neighborhoods, lush parks, diverse communities, and more shopping centers than your wallet can handle. But take a closer look, and you'll realize Aurora isn't quite the budget-friendly Denver alternative it's often made out to be. It's more like Denver's wild roommate who insists they've changed, but the neighbors know better. With nearly 400,000 residents, Aurora is one of the state's largest and most complex cities, and one of its most unpredictable. According to Area Vibes, its violent crime rate stands at roughly 951 incidents per 100,000 people, far above both the state and national averages. Translation? If you hear a helicopter circling at night, it's probably not giving sightseeing tours. Aurora regularly ranks among Colorado's most dangerous cities, and it's not by mistake. Property crimes are rampant, with burglaries and car thefts leading the list. Locals even joke that their cars have commitment issues, because they rarely stick around. While some neighborhoods out east or near the tech corridors remain safe and family-oriented, other pockets struggle with rising crime, poverty, and community tension. The median household income of about $79,000 doesn't sound bad until you factor in how housing prices have jumped over 40% in just 5 years. Aurora's cost of living now mirrors Denver's, but with fewer perks and less infrastructure to support the rapid growth. It's a city in transition, expanding quickly, but not always wisely. Still, Aurora's diversity is one of its greatest strengths. It's a cultural crossroads filled with immigrant communities, global cuisine, and an energy that's hard to replicate elsewhere. But when safety concerns and quality of life start colliding, even great food can't mask the anxiety. In short, Aurora is a city of contradictions, opportunity and instability, growth and frustration, all tangled together in one sprawling suburban grid. So before you fall in love with that beautiful listing on Zillow, take a moment to read the local headlines. Aurora might shine bright, but some of that glow comes from police lights. Number 2. Denver, where mile-high dreams meet ground-level reality. Denver, the mile-high city. The land of craft beer, mountain trails, and views so stunning they make your camera roll groan. It's the Colorado dream: fresh air, outdoor adventures, and that famous mountain life vibe. But lately, the dream's been fading. Behind the skyline and social media glow, Denver's reality is getting rougher. Let's look at the facts. Denver's violent crime rate sits at around 1,022 incidents per 100,000 residents, nearly twice the national average. That makes it one of the most crime-heavy cities in Colorado. Robberies, assaults, and car thefts have become part of daily life, and locals have developed a dark humor about it. If your car's still in the driveway tomorrow, that's cause for celebration. Sure, areas like Cherry Creek, Hilltop, and Washington Park remain clean and safe, but other neighborhoods see crime spikes that keep police scanners busy. On paper, Denver's economy still looks strong: median income near $93,000, solid jobs in tech, aerospace, and energy. But those numbers lose meaning when rent passes $2,000 and groceries, gas, and utilities keep climbing. The homelessness crisis is impossible to ignore. Downtown streets that once drew tourists now tell a very different story. What was once a housing success story has become a nightmare for first-time buyers trying to stay within budget, or even within city limits. Despite it all, Denver still has its charm. The mountains still tower proudly on the horizon. The breweries are still buzzing. Broncos fans still believe. But many locals admit the magic has dimmed, replaced by gridlock, rising crime, and frustration with city leadership. Denver remains vibrant, but it's changing, and not always for the better. For anyone chasing balance between affordability, safety, and peace of mind, the mile-high city may feel more like a mile-high price tag. Number 1. Pueblo. The steel city that's tougher than it should be. And now, at the top of the list, Pueblo, Colorado. The steel city of the Rockies. Once a proud industrial powerhouse that built Colorado's backbone, today Pueblo is fighting battles on multiple fronts. It's the kind of town where you double-check your car locks, then wonder how a place with such history and heart ended up topping every most dangerous list in the state. The numbers tell the story. Pueblo's violent crime rate is an alarming 1,474 incidents per 100,000 residents, more than 3 times the national average. That makes it the most dangerous city in Colorado, hands down. Even U.S. News and AMP World Report lists Pueblo among America's most unsafe places to live. Property crimes are rampant, car thefts, burglaries, and robberies happen so often that it feels like a city sport. You'd think with all that activity, they'd have the best neighborhood watch program around. Spoiler: they don't. But Pueblo's problems go deeper than crime. The median household income sits at just $55,000, about $25,000 below the state average. Nearly 20% of residents live below the poverty line. Job opportunities remain limited, with much of the economy still tied to retail, healthcare, and what's left of its industrial roots. Add in underfunded schools, aging infrastructure, and a growing homelessness crisis, and the city's uphill battle becomes clear. Yet, Pueblo's story isn't all despair. There's grit here, and pride. The community has heart, culture, and resilience. Downtown revitalization efforts, local art spaces, and new restaurants are trying to spark change. Locals defend their city passionately, and they should, because Pueblo's story isn't failure, it's survival. Still, when high crime meets low income and limited opportunity, reality bites hard. Pueblo may have spirit, but it also has serious struggles. So, if your idea of Colorado living means peace, safety, and a quiet night's sleep, this might be one to admire from a distance. For now, Pueblo's beauty comes with a side of chaos, and that's why it takes the number 1 spot on this list. And there you have it, the top 10 towns in Colorado you might want to think twice about before calling home. From shrinking economies to rising crime and disappearing opportunities, this list proves that even paradise has shadows. Sure, Colorado's landscapes are breathtaking, but not every place behind those peaks lives up to the postcard. The point isn't to tear these towns down, it's to help you make smarter choices about where to live, work, and invest. Because in Colorado, the view might be priceless, but peace of mind still matters most. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more honest looks at the best, and worst, places to live across America. Drop a comment below and tell us which Colorado town surprised you most, or which one you think should have made the list. Until next time, stay smart, stay safe, and keep exploring. Because knowing where not to move can be just as valuable as finding your dream destination.